Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So Hillary Clinton was on an interview, and in that interview, of course, the subject of Democrats and Republicans' sexual impropriety came up. Moore was a Republican, and Al Franken, who's a Democrat. This is NY Daily News. Hillary Clinton defends husband and Al Franken blasts President Trump and Roy Moore over sexual harassment. Oh, let's see what takes place. I'm not shocked, but let's see what takes place. When it comes to allegations of sexual misconduct, Hillary Clinton sees a clear difference between Democrats and Republicans. Democrats sexually assault in a different way. That's awesome. The former Secretary of State chatted with WABC radio host Rita Cosby, speaking of sexual assault, in a sweeping Friday afternoon interview centered on sexual impropriety in politics, fielding questions about the GOP Senate nominee Roy Moore, President Trump, her husband, Democratic Senator Al Franken. Clinton was quick to lump together Moore. He's accused of sexually harassing and assaulting several teenagers, with Trump, who was accused of sexually harassing more than a dozen women. She was also quick to extend an olive branch to Franken, her former Senate colleague, who was accused of sexually harassing a female radio host in 2006. It's not accused, dude. There's a picture with his hands on a woman's breasts. Yeah, that picture exists. It's not really accusing. Not to mention he came out and apologized, saying yes, he did it. He's a good friend of mine, and I deeply regret what he did. There is no excuse for his behavior, but he has called for an investigation and apologized to the woman. Clinton said, "An investigation into what? What are you investigating? You come on, man. This is insane. You agreed to an investigation. Hey." There's a photo with my hands on a woman's tits, and I look very pleased with myself. I look very pleased with myself as I touch her inappropriately. Now, earlier I tried to shove my tongue down her throat. I apologize. Now I'm going to investigate the behavior. What are you investigating? You already admitted to the behavior. They're trying to find a magical door to get this thing of, we can accuse more of this behavior and say that this guy needs to step aside. When Al Franken gets caught, Al Franken sexually assaulted her in a different way, and he's a Democrat. So we want to have an investigation, and that will make everything okay. This is comical. This is comical. Bill Clinton got a blowjob in the White House by, I think she was an interim, Monica Lewinsky at the time. That blowjob, believe it or not, saved us from the Clintons privatizing Social Security. There was a deal worked out with Newt Gingrich. They were going to do it. He lied about that blowjob. And let's be honest, it probably was more than just a quote-unquote blowjob. This is one of those things where it's like you have to make something up that's bad in order to hide something that's worse. It was probably more than a blowjob. But either way, the presidential stain, the indignity of the presidential stain, the president of the United States with his semen on another woman's dress, that's fucking amazing. The indignity of that particular stain. Now, you could say that Bill Clinton's position in that particular office, he in no way should have been messing around with interns because his stature gives an unfair influence on that particular person. I think that would be a fair assessment. Now, you could say that about sexual harassment in any context, like in regards to offices or governmental agencies. Anytime you have that excess of authority, this person is in charge of somebody else and this person has a particular stature, yeah, you're probably going to have to go without hitting on your employees. That's all I'm saying. There are allegations looming about Bill Clinton and sexual assault himself. So, you know, let's be clear. If Hillary Clinton is going to throw a stone at Donald Trump, she has to also look at the predator that's in her midst, or the accused predator that's in her midst. That's all I'm saying. yeah, this is politics, man. She's a soldier to the end. I will say one thing about it. Franken stood up for Clinton in the election. And from what I understand, the Clintons can be extraordinarily vindictive when it's somebody who's against their interests, but they can be extraordinarily friendly and loyal when you work with them, or at the very least, you support them. Al Franken supported her in the primaries. I would imagine she's going to return the favor now. She's not going to toss him under the bus. So, whatever you want to think of it, not to mention she's a Democrat, so there's that. There's that. I love this this defense of Franken. Clinton said, look at the contrast between Al Franken accepting responsibility, apologizing, and Roy Moore and Donald Trump who have done neither. She continued, there's a double standard. Republicans deny, divert, and get away with it because the press is more concerned with someone who accepts the responsibility than those who refuse to take responsibility. Look, whatever you want to think about it, that I believe actually tells their philosophy. Like, she's not saying this out of a void. She's saying this because there's something in her that believes if you admit to something, the press is going to hound you about it. Don't admit. Don't admit. If your philosophy on this, I love this. If your philosophy on this is the press is more concerned with someone who would accept responsibility than someone who refused to. So does that mean that there's a philosophical belief that there is no incentive to be honest with the press? Is that what the Democratic Party, is that what Hillary Clinton is saying? And not just the press, I'm talking about be honest in general. If you honestly full well believe that being honest about something is going to get you harassed, is there an impetus to not be honest about things that come up? That's all I'm saying. She's being too honest. She's been far too honest. The press does better when you just don't accept responsibility. So don't accept responsibility for anything. Cause like, come on. Yeah, I leave it at that. I'm not gonna belabor this point. This story is interesting just from the standpoint of this is how Hillary Clinton thinks of dealing with information that's being released to the public. This kind of deny, and divert, because for the most part, the press will let you get away with it if you deny it. That's stunning. That's stunning. Also, the defense of Al Franken in this, while at the same time attacking Moore, is fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Al Franken has owned up to the fact that he has sexually assaulted somebody, so Al Franken should get a pass. Donald Trump did not own up to the fact that he sexually assaulted somebody, so he should not. It's like, come on. Do Democrats sexually assault in a different way? And is the different way that Democrats believe that they sexually assault people enough to get them off the hook? Particularly when they're claiming or trying to put somebody else on that same hook. Inquisitive minds would like to know. I would like to know. I will leave it at that. Alright guys, if you enjoy the content, feel free to share, like, subscribe, and of course, you can always support the Patreon. Thanks guys.